to be cooking up some salmon today. Now we're going to bake this in the oven and put a really nice kind of crusting on top. Now when I say crusting, we're going to use breadcrumbs, and you've got some Parmesan cheese, fresh parsley, a little bit of squeeze of lemon or lime, a little bit of olive oil. Mix that all together, put it on top of the salmon, bake it in the oven. Delish. Now as I normally do, I'm just going to quickly go through the ingredients. I know some of you fall asleep at this point, but it's always good to have a little bit of a visual of what ingredients we've got. And for those that don't really know, then obviously, you know, it's good to go through because you know what you've got to go and buy. So let's go through the ingredients. First of all, I've got my salmon. It's a salmon fillet, so there's no skin, no bones. This piece in total weighs 500 grams, a half a kilo. Now I'm actually cut mine down into 4 pieces. So these 3 are slightly thicker, and this is the kind of tail end. Now I'm going to use just these 3 pieces today because having the same thickness means they're going to cook at the same time. So I'm going to use those 3. The little tail end, I'll keep that in the fridge and I'll make some little fish cakes or something like that. So 3 pieces of really nice salmon filleted. Now to make up this really tasty crusting on top, I'm going to use some breadcrumbs. I'd say you want to use about 50 grams of breadcrumbs, or if you're making your own, just cut a chunky piece off, put it in there, blend up some breadcrumbs, about the right amount to kind of sprinkle, you know, fairly liberally over the 3 pieces of salmon. Then I've got some Parmesan. Now, with the Parmesan, I'm going to use, I'd say about 1/3 or half of that, about the thickness of my thumb, or if you're a little bit more delicate, 2 of your fingers. And we're going to put that in the same time as the bread so we can sort of blend it all together. Now I'm also going to be adding some fresh parsley. Now the fresh parsley, good handful of that, pick all the leaves off, put it in with the bread. If you haven't got fresh parsley but you want to kind of crack on, you could use dried parsley, maybe like a teaspoon, a heaped teaspoon of, you know, dried parsley. Then we're going to use a squeeze of either lemon juice or lime juice, whatever you've got, doesn't really make a lot of difference. A little bit of olive oil, blend that all up together, and then that's a really nice simple coating that's going to turn this salmon into something really tasty. Now I'm going to be serving mine up with some nice new potatoes, probably cook those for about 25-30 minutes, so they're going to take the longest, so I'm going to get those on first. We've got some tomatoes there. Now I'm going to put the tomatoes in the oven at the same time with the fish, and it's, you know, it's just going to make a really nice extra to go with your fish. But equally, you might want a bit of broccoli or a really nice salad. It's entirely up to you. I've got a tiny little bit of butter there because I'm just going to butter the sort of dish that we're going to put the fish in and cook it all up. So there's all the ingredients. Let's first of all go over to the hob and get the potatoes on the, you know, cooking, boiling away in some salty water, because they're going to take about 25-30 minutes. Then we're going to come back and make this really nice crusting to go on the fish. So we're going to get on and cook the potatoes. Now I've just boiled the kettle. Just going to speed it up a little bit really. So I've got some water there. I'm going to add some salt. Then I've got my potatoes. Now I've rinsed those, leave them in the skins, put them in. Now what you really need to do is to cook these for about half an hour. So let's just turn the heat on, bring it up to the boil, and then you can just lower it a little bit so it doesn't overboil. It might have just come up to the boil, so I'm just going to turn it down because otherwise eventually it'll overboil. So put it on about a medium heat, just make sure it's, you know, bubbling away quite nicely. So now what we're going to do is go over to the table and we're going to start making up this sort of crust that we're going to put on the fish. So leave those cooking for half an hour. Let's go and make the crust, put it on the fish, get it in the oven. So now we've got the potatoes on the go, going to get on with making this crust that's going to go on the fish. Now I've got my blender there. Now I'm going to start off by grabbing a piece of bread, so chunky bit of bread, break it in half, and then I'm going to kind of just put bits of it in there really. Now I might do it in 2 batches, depends how much of this bread I can get in there, but don't forget we've got a little bit of cheese to go in there as well. So now the Parmesan cheese, again, just going to put that in lumps really. Oops, that's it, big chunky lump there. So let's blend that down to start with. Put the lid on, give it a blips. There you go, been blending that. Now let's just put a little bit of liquid in there. Now I'm probably going to put about a tablespoon of olive oil. Then I'm going to choose lemon or lime, doesn't matter. I'm going to use a bit of lime, so cut that up. Thing about limes, you never get any pips in there, so it's good on that one. Good squeeze of that. And I think I'll add some fresh parsley. Now I took it off the stalks, so we'll start with that. See how we get on. Put the lid back on. So I've finished blending it up, I've got it nice and fine, so I'm going to move everything out of the way, get myself a baking dish, something you can put in the oven, and I'm going to put like a little thin layer of butter all the way around, lay the fish on, and then we can put all this really nice crust on top of the fish, get it cooking. So I've got the fish, I've got to lay it this way. As so, I'm just using the 3 bits there. Now normally I would definitely season my fish, but I think because the Parmesan's got a little bit of salt in it anyway, I don't think I'm going to bother. I'm just going to grab me crumbs. Just want to make sure there's a bit of a thickness all over really. Now I've got a little bit left, but you know, not too much. Obviously I could do that other bit of fish if I wanted to. So gently flatten that out. And that's ready to go. So I've got my salmon all prepared, and we've got a lovely coating on top, and it smells wonderful with that Parmesan. Now what I'm going to do is put mine into a preheated oven, temperature wise 200 degrees Celsius, 400 Fahrenheit, gas mark 6. Now my ones, because they're fairly thickish pieces of salmon, I'm going to give them roughly about 17 to 20 minutes as an estimate. If yours is a lot thinner, then obviously cook for less time, maybe 10 or 12 minutes. Have a look on the back of your packaging, or if you're at the fishmongers, just get a bit of an idea from them. So my piece, 17, 20 minutes, set the timer, and it should look wonderful. Now I left my piece of salmon for 20 minutes, and we've got a really nice golden brown colour. Let's just pour it out. Look at that. I think that's sometimes one of the good things about having a thicker piece of salmon, because it means you get a really nice colour on the topping. Obviously if you've got a thinner piece of fish, you're not going to have quite that colour, but I'm sure it'll taste good. Get a nice thick piece if you can. That looks wonderful. Now I'm just going to leave the tomatoes in there a little bit longer whilst I sort out the potatoes and get it all served up. Just going to put it on that plate there for a moment. Look at that, looks beautiful. You've got a nice golden brown colour. I can see there the fish is really nicely cooked. So I'm just going to put this aside, put it on a cloth or something, because it's going to be hot. Just move that back. Now I'm going to go and get on with the potatoes and just drain those off. And then finally I'll take the tomatoes out. And obviously if you want to serve it up a little bit of salad, up to you. So let's go and get the potatoes sorted out. Now you could just put a little bit of olive oil and fresh parsley, or I'm going to use some butter. So, nice butter. And I'm just going to really give those just a bit of a stir up. Try and get everything coated with that lovely bit of butter. I know it's a bit noisy, but that's good. Now a little bit of salt. Now I'm actually going to put it in my hand. Someone recently commented about that and said, look, it's a good idea, so you don't get too much on there. Now I've got me fresh parsley, so let's just finish that off. Look at that, lovely potatoes. So let's just move that aside, and we're going to serve it all up. Now you've got to be really gentle with this. There you go, piece of salmon. Got a little bit left here as well. I'm going to put that next to it. I've got some of those new potatoes. Got a little bit of salad. This is like lettuce, a little bit of olive oil, balsamic vinegar, a little bit of salt. And then finally, I've got those tomatoes. Really nice and slightly roasted really. Now, some of that sort of juice from the tomato, just going to pour that top. Oh, it'll be lovely. Beautiful. So there we go. We've got a really nice meal, very simple to make, and I'm sure it's going to taste good. Let's try some. Now I left this piece here because I knew I've got to go for that. It's what it's all about. The salmon with that really nice crust. Let's just try it. That is really nice. Absolutely delicious. That coating really kind of adds a lovely flavour to the salmon. That is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. I'm going to try another bit of that. That is so good and so simple. It's unbelievable. And the texture is really nice as well with the breadcrumbs. Browned off as well, so a little bit crunchy. Ah, it's delicious. Let's just try. Got those potatoes there. And of course, got these tomatoes. Pull one off. Oh, I mind those because they're really hot, but kind of explode in your mouth. Oh, lovely. And you know, nice simple salad. So just for a go, I just want to say thanks to everybody for watching my videos. If you like what I do and you haven't subscribed yet, just at the top on the video there's a little thing to click that says subscribe. So give that a go because it's always nice to see new subscribers. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy the original Naked Chef.